what I have right here is the all-new Insta360 X3, and it's the one with the new larger 2.29 touchscreen display. It has new features from the previous generation, and now it actually supports 60 FPS recording. And until today's video, after spending a whole entire week with this device, and thanking Insta360 for providing us 2 of these cameras, stay tuned for the very end, so you have a chance of winning the other one, as I am going to go ahead and give it away. But in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and share with you 10 of the cool things I love about the Insta360 and some cool tips and tricks that I've discovered, as well as the best settings to adjust to really get the most value out of this device. So all that and more in today's video. Let's go ahead and get started. With the X3, got a couple of new changes. Aside from the larger display, you now have an actual opening right here for your USB-C port and a quick release for the internal battery, which you can swap if you buy or have access to additional battery packs. You can do some quick swaps while you're recording on the go. But in addition to that, if we pull out the battery one more time, this is also water resistant, as it can be submerged in water up to 10 meters, in other words 33 feet. But powering it on, the thing I like to overview real quick is the new UI interface, because now whenever you slide your finger this way, you can actually tap the little icon right here to have access to previous shots, thumbnails. You can actually view everything right here on the Insta360 without having to rely on the app to use on your phone to review previous footage. And you could delete some here as well if you don't like some previous shots. Other than that, you have your time of footage you can capture depending on the resolution you've selected and the video style. You have access to your front facing camera right here, which you actually toggle, or you could tap this button right here, which will also allow you to quickly switch to your 360 lens, or back or front facing lens, or the full 360. And by long pressing on the display, you can actually rotate the camera right here as well for you to get a quick preview. And right here will be your battery life, which I am going to go ahead and swap pretty soon. But in the 360 mode, you have time shifts, which creates these awesome looking fast forward type of clips. Bullet time, which I'm going to go ahead and cover in a little bit. Loop recording is crucial to know or be aware of if you're like using this as a dash cam for like motorcycles and stuff like that, because if you tap right here on the very top right here, you can actually select the duration. 30 is the max. So whenever you have the loop recording, it's going to preserve the previous 30 minutes. So if something does happen, you're not going to lose the 30 minutes of footage, and it won't overloop or overwrite the previous 30 minutes. But of course here you should control your frame rate. But aside from that, if we go back, Star Lapse is also another cool one. With this mode, basically allows you to actually shoot a time lapse in a dark environment like the outdoors, and you create these cool star effects as well. And of course you have burst, interval, HDR photos, video, and the new active HDR. With this mode, allows you to capture the most stable footage possible. The only con is it uses more power and may overheat your camera a lot quicker. So only use this mode when you're trying to use or capture as much stable footage as possible. Typically when you want to go ahead and use the Action HDR. If not, standard video will be perfectly fine for normal walks and such. Now in the single lens section, of course you have your video, but you also have the new Me Mode, which if you use the selfie stick or the invisible stick, this will actually eliminate that stick in the video instead of you having to do that during post like we previously had to. And then of course you got loop recording, same concept as the previous one, photos, and that's about it. Going back to the main screen, if you bring this down, this will give you quick access to your control center. And the most important shortcuts to be aware of is this button right here will turn off the light feedback illuminator. So this will basically just turn that off if you need to. You could connect AirPods to this device, which you can actually use as a record button. Or you can actually pair an actual Bluetooth remote to toggle the shutter and on. This is your brightness, your audio wind reducer. Now if you picked up lens guards, that is a thing you could actually enable, but this may reduce or cause problems with the slicing. But if you do have these on equipped, you always tap here, and this will actually amplify the stitching, so the camera itself understands that you have lens guards enabled. So I highly recommend enabling this. Or if you're using the aquatic case, enable the aquatic case when you're underwater. This way the screen doesn't respond to any touches and stuff like that water typically cause, and you have to slide up to unlock. But now if you go to the gear icon in your settings, you're able to reprogram the shortcut button underneath here, just this one in particular. If you actually scroll down, and if you go into the customized button, You can actually switch between those lenses, or just make into another take photo / record video shutter button. I personally prefer leaving it here by default because this one technically is the shutter button, but you can have both if you want to. Now, aside from that, other important things to be aware of is the automatic sleep. If you like to increase the automatic sleep from a minute to never if you wish, you have the total freedom to do so. Same goes for the power off, because as soon as the camera enters auto sleep, you can still tap the record button, stuff like that, because the camera will still be on standby mode. So if you like to adjust that, you have total freedom to do so. And here would be where you want to reformat your SD card if you have to reformat it on the go, and you don't want to deal with the format settings on the SD card on the computer. You can always just go here and just let the camera do its thing. And real quick, back in the control center, if you bring down this section and you click on the little rocket icon, this quick capture basically allows you to actually hit record right away, and this will instantly turn on the camera and begin recording the footage you want to record. So if you need to capture something on the go, instead of turning on the camera itself, hit record, you can just hit record right away. It'll begin capturing. And then the Q button that's on the side right here, this is your quick menu button, which as soon as you press on it, it'll give you access to all the pre-made custom recording settings you have. If you like to edit some of these, you could totally do so by tapping the 3 dots right there, or you could tap the plus and create some custom ones. So I have to remove one due to the fact that I can only have access to I'm limited on how many I can fit here, but by tapping plus, I have all these different ones to choose from, or I could create a total custom one from scratch. Feel free to play around with this, so definitely do take advantage of that quick menu button. Now, another amazing tool about the Insta360 is it does support voice controls, and to have the whole complete list and view it right here on your display, by going into the gear icon and you scroll down to voice control, here's where you can actually go ahead and not just enable it, but also select the 2 different language that it supports. But here are the voice commands you can actually tell it to do. And it works really well depending on your situation. Snowboarding is typically where I find this to be a super useful feature, so I don't actually have to take off my gloves to tap on the display. I could just verbally command it. So I can literally say, start recording. No need to say the brand name or anything like that. Stop recording. It works extremely well. Just in a loud environment, you're going to have to yell, of course. Now, out of box, the Insta360 is pretty loaded, and one of the most important things that Insta360 provides for the X3 is the travel pouch. Always take this on the go, because once you're done using your Insta360 and you're storing it away, put it inside the pouch, because if you scratch one of these lenses, it's game over. You have to buy an entire new camera, because good luck trying to repair the lens, especially since the camera itself is water resistant. But with this pouch, you can just easily store it like so. You just put it in your back pocket or something. But if you need access to the touchscreen, well, that's where this accessory comes into play, and that's this little silicone clamp which protects the lens itself, so it still gives you access to the touchscreen, so you can review your footage, make sure you capture everything right while the lens are fully protected. Now, there's quite a few accessories for the Insta360. One of the most popular one is this bullet string attachment, where you can actually attach right here on the bottom of your Insta360, and somewhat like a yo-yo, you can actually drop the camera and it would just go back. Now, the beauty about this accessory is as soon as you turn it on, you tap on camera and select 360 and go into bullet time. Let it do its thing, and by simply holding the Insta360 like so, and then start to swing it around, make sure there's nobody around you, of course, or objects, you can actually start swinging your Insta360 like so, and it will create these cool bullet effects. So this is one of the accessories I do recommend due to that reason. Just be super careful on, like, I always make sure to, like, at least try to hit my body, because I know that's soft and it won't harm the lens. Then if you actually own the Insta360 invisible stick, you can actually stick it on the bottom of that rope. And you can do the exact same thing, but extend the stick, where it takes a bit of practice and will capture a much wider effect. Not sure how I'm going to use this, primarily on social media. I can see people utilizing this, but for products, yeah. The only product I could utilize this is by demonstrating how you could actually do this on the Insta360. And then to remove, just pull this little ring right here, and you can actually safely remove it. But if you have the Insta360 stick and you have the Insta360 tripod, this thing is super sturdy and it has a locking mechanism right here. But you notice how you have 2 points right here to hook it up, because one of them, if you secure it properly, you can do a very similar bullet effect as well this way with the tripod. So yeah, a lot of different ways you could utilize the bullet effect with the Insta360 accessories. And then the Insta360 Me Mode. This mode is actually really cool because once you hit record, the stick that I'm holding right here is invisible. Definitely be an interesting footage to create if you're trying to create like a third person or second person interesting gaming effect. And then another very funny mode is the FOV mode, which requires you to hit record and literally just apply this camera to your mouth. Camera to your mouth. So if you don't have a head strap, you can always do that for an FOV. Now every Insta360 has this hidden feature, because right here in the control center there's a new pre-record setting. When you select here, you can select 15 seconds or 30 seconds, and by tapping pre-record start, right now it's recording 30 seconds, but it's not saving it, because if you're trying to capture like something unexpected and you don't want to use the time lapse, it still technically is recording a pre-log. So once we hit record, if it was something unexpected, we still captured it, so long as it was within the 15 seconds or the 30 seconds you have selected. So that's pretty cool that this camera has that capability. And those are my favorite settings I like to always enable, and some cool tips and tricks I like to use daily with the Insta360 that helps me produce the videos you see on my channel and also allow me to deliver a great visual experience for you guys. Now, as promised, I did state it, I'm going to go ahead and give one Insta360 X3 away, all thanks to Insta360 for providing us not just a camera to give away for you guys, but also one lens cap and one invisible selfie stick. If you'd like to go ahead and enter, the requirements are: 1, you need to live in the US. Sorry, shipping things overseas is extremely expensive and frustrating, trust me. So it has to be a US mailing address. 2, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, of course, and as well as you leave a like on this video. But go ahead and follow not just me on Twitter, but also Insta360. And in the comment section, make sure to comment down your Twitter handle that you use on Twitter. And in 30 days, I'm going to go ahead and pick one lucky winner out of random in the comment section, verify that you are indeed following me on Twitter and Insta360. And I'm going to go ahead and DM you on Twitter if you're the lucky winner, as well as screenshot the winner on the community post. And this is my account and it's verified. So if you get another Twitter account or DM, that's not this one, that's not me. And also make sure to actually retweet the Insta360 video you'll find it on my Twitter account. And you're only going to have 2 days to claim your prize. If there's no response, I'm going to move on to the next person. So best of luck. And yes, entering is pretty easy. So best of luck. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.